Video recording. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Greetings, programs, and we're back for another episode of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
I am not Derek Diamond.
Filling in for Derek Diamond, we have everybody's favorite fact checker to the fact checker, Mr. Wally Phelps.
No. That's Tyler you were just introducing.
I'm
just fact checker.
You're the fact checker, everybody's favorite fact checker. And then,
all right.
I had Tyler on the brain because I just got his top 5 email earlier.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. Yes, I am Wally Phelps, and I am excited to go over this list that I wrote 5 seconds ago.
Before we go into our lists, so everybody knows that we told everybody last week, Derek is not going to be here this week or next week. So tonight we decided to do something a little closer to Wally's new podcast with Mr. Carlos Longoria, aka I Am the Rampage, and their new podcast called Dead Game Pod, where tell them what you guys do over there.
We take a game that hasn't been good or hasn't been out in a while, and we tell the developers exactly how they should bring it back, and hopefully they will do what we ask them.
Well, if they don't listen to us, I doubt anybody will listen to you either. But we can only
who will listen to me? Yes.
But yeah, so we decided to do top 5 games that deserve a resurrection, and everybody kept saying I said an erection, and that is not the case. Games that give you an erection, which that's not this show. I don't know what podcast that is. But that's
an Open Micers episode. Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
That's an Open Micers After Dark episode right there. But before we go into the list, anything you want to talk about before we jump into the lists tonight?
Just one thing. You asked me earlier if I could hear the audio coming from your computer, and I can until you start recording.
See, that's weird. Why would it? I don't know.
Like the moment you started recording, like I cannot, like you started dancing around to the theme song, and I'm like, I can't hear anything.
I don't know, man. that I can't figure out why the Zoom call can't hear while I'm recording. That's just beyond me. I don't know. I can't figure it out. If anybody out there knows anything about audio, video, and loopback and audio hijack and why the Zoom call is not hearing my soundboard, please email me at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com and tell me what the hell's going on. But
right, it's not the computer, because you just got a new one, so I don't know.
Relatively brand new computer, so it's not that.
Right, nothing to do with it.
But let's go ahead and jump into our list tonight, and we'll start off with you. And first up, go ahead and give me your honorable mentions if you have any, and then we'll jump straight into the list.
I honestly don't have any honorable mentions, and the reason why I don't have honorable mentions is because, like, there's too many for me to think of. There's, like, I would love to have a new Star Tropics. I would love to have a new Paperboy. I would love to have a new Burger Time. I would love to have a new. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I would be here all day, so I'm not doing. I guess those were honorable mentions, but I'm not getting any official ones, because that could have been any 4 games or 3 games. I don't know how many I listed there, but yeah.
Well, all right.
How about you?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go ahead and do honorable mentions before we go into my list, the only ones that I really wrote here that they're relatively, wouldn't say newer games, but one of the newer games is Mad Max for the PS4. Did you ever play Mad Max?
No, because you kept recommending it, and I did it out of spite.
Yeah, and nobody else played it either, so except for me. And the game is so good because it's a mixture of sort of the new Mad Max with Fury Road and old school Mad Max with what's his name? Mel Brooks. No, Mel Gibson. That would be an
Mel
awesome
Brooks's Mad Max.
I would watch
The
that.
funny thing is, Mel Brooks's son's name is Max.
Yeah. But if you never played it, it's an open world sort of. It's in the vein of things like Grand Theft Auto, but you're basically in the out in the post apocalyptic outback. You're upgrading your car, you're upgrading your armor and weapons, and you're running you're running quests for people, and it's that type of game. You're beating people up for loot, that type of stuff. So if you're into that type of thing, I say go check it out. I mean, you can pick up a copy right now for like $5. Like, it is cheap as hell to play this game, which I put like 25 hours into and would still go back for more. So
I might have to play it eventually. There's an ongoing theme between me and Carlos Rampage, where essentially I don't like video games, so I don't know if I'd like this video.
I've been saying that for years. The only other one I have for runners up is Fable, which I know that
Oh, that's a good one. I
they've
didn't even
been
think of that.
they've been talking about a new Fable for years, but until I see it in my hands, I'm not going to believe it until I'm holding a copy of it in my hands.
Yeah, I mean the fact that the franchise is in the hands of a notorious liar.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to see a Fable anytime soon.
yeah. I don't either, but man, those games were so good.
Mm.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our official top five list. Would you like to go first since you're the guest host tonight?
You want me to go through all five of them, or do you want me to do
Yeah,
one at a time?
just go five through one, and just we'll talk
So
about them
I
as you
actually,
go.
so I picked out this one because Derek isn't here uh, to do it for us, and I chose Banjo Kazooie.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Banjo hasn't had a game in so long that he had that little identity crisis with Nuts and Bolts,
Hmm.
and we never really had a good sequel to Banjo Kazooie 2. It's not something that is easily replicated, a 3D game like Banjo Kazooie, because they're a dime a dozen, those types of games. But the closest we got was that I can't even say it. The
Oh, was it ukulele?
ukulele
Yeah.
or whatever it is with the lizard. Uh, which okay, but it's not Banjo Kazooie. So that is my number five.
It's a good pick. I mean, that's you know. So you,
Well, number four, I suppose, would be Twisted Metal.
ooh,
Um,
good pick.
we need more Twisted Metal in our
I
lives.
talked about that when I reviewed Twisted Metal Black. Like, I don't know why they don't have, with the battle arena uh, phase we're going through right now. With everything, why not do a Twisted Metal battle arena type of game?
That would be amazing. I
Yeah.
would play that all the time. And the thing is, you could buy like new skins for your car and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
we you could even keep all of the cars the same, as far as, well, they are functionally the same cars.
Imagine
Everybody can choose from them.
Imagine if they could
But
get licenses like they do on Fortnite, where you could be in Twisted Metal but playing like the '89 Batmobile or Ecto One
right,
or stuff like. I'm just that's Where's our money? Where is our
that
game check?
feels easy. That feels like something you should be able to do, and
Yeah.
it's ridiculous that you're not. I mean, one of the most iconic video game characters, in my opinion, from the '90s is Sweet Tooth,
Yes.
and I do not understand why we don't have more Twisted Metals than we have. There needs to be a new one.
Yes, agreed, 100%.
In a very similar vein, Burnout is another game because I am sick of Paradise being re-released, and because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of Paradise, and it's I want them to re-release a Burnout game with the crash mode because that was the thing I bought Burnout for was the crash mode. And if for those people who have never played a Burnout other than Paradise, because I think Paradise has been the Burnout for the last decade,
Hmm.
they had it where there's traffic and you could drive out in the traffic and try to cause as much devastation as you possibly could. And I think that this needs to come back. Why did you take it out to begin with? You idiot.
I
And
don't know.
I mean, that it was like waking up and it was your birthday every day whenever you had that game. It was great, and that's Burnout Two specifically was, and Burnout the Takedown were
See, I
the
don't think I
two.
ever played Paradise. I played the first two. I never played Paradise.
Um, Paradise was the open world version of it,
Hmm.
and the things that I people love that game
At some
obviously
point,
because they
I,
kept re-releasing the damn
I
thing.
think I may have rented it at one point, but it just didn't really do anything for me. And I just
That's what it
never,
is because you just kind of start out and you're just driving. And it's
yeah.
like you don't have much direction. You, I like the idea that every intersection has a different event, but then you get to a point where you're like, have I been to this intersection before? Hmm. Let me try over here, and you go over to the other side. Nope. Okay. Let me.
Hmm.
Nope. It's like I mean, yeah, they have little symbols and stuff like that, but I can't see well. So, uh, I don't like the game in that manner. It needs to have them. I want menus. I want different events. I want the crash mode. I want to be able to do takedowns like you could in the takedown. You can do takedowns in Paradise, but it's not as spectacular, because it used to
Yeah.
be you would hit a takedown and it would like slow everything down and it would be very cinematic and you see this dude just kind of flip out and explode all over the place. And then it comes back to you. Yeah, Paradise does this, but not nearly as satisfactory.
Yeah.
so so that's my next one. The next one is Disney Infinity. Uh
Never,
because why wouldn't why not?
never played it.
I love the toys to life idea where because imagine if my Funko Pop translated to an in-game character. That's basically what my idea is. What the whole Disney Infinity was. It was vinyl figures that you played in the game, and I just like that idea. And there needs to be more of it. The only bad thing about it, the reason why it failed was because they made too many of them. They made too
Hmm.
many characters. So there's all these Lone Rangers on the shelf, but nobody bought, and Tontos.
I
Uh,
mean, why would you?
while yeah, I mean they were making them for properties that ended up not being popular. They were anticipating. They were
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, this is going to be good," and it wasn't. Like the Good Dinosaur
Yeah.
and uh, the oh, what else was there that was just kind of languishing on shelves? Oh, they made 1,000 like Star Wars things.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it's wild. So I really enjoyed it. I love the idea of being able to cross over the Toy Box Takeover DLC, which was actually a toy box that you bought, allowed you to play uh, you allowed you to mix and match the character, so you could, for example, play as Mickey Mouse in the Star Wars levels.
Hmm.
So that is really cool to me, and
But
I
that would
like
be fun
to.
for any game. I wish every game you could do that for. Like I would love to be playing like Resident Evil 2 and put like, Mickey Mouse in there. Like that would just be awesome.
Oh no! You, Jill, the master of unlocking. I don't know.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Well, what's this? It's a special tool that we're going to use later on.
Oh, that first game. I love those games, but man, that dialogue was terrible.
Right, yeah. I mean, well, the stories aren't really all that great. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they have glimmers of good, but it's like, I mean, you're fighting a crocodile in the sewer at one
Yeah.
point, so it's like,
I mean, who doesn't?
well, last time I was in the sewer, nothing but crocodile
Yeah.
fights.
I mean, around here, alligators.
Yeah, damn gators, I guarantee you, they're going to go down. But of course, my number one is. You can probably guess what my number one is.
I'm not sure. I mean, I would say Fortnite, but, um, hmm. Oh, either Rock Band or Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero.
Uh, Rock
Rock
Band.
Band.
How dare you? No, yeah, Guitar Hero. I mean, no.
Well, see, the bad thing
uh,
about games like that is when you have those kind of peripherals like that, eventually it's going to go out of style and companies are going to go out of business. Like, look at Mad Cats.
right. It bankrupted an entire peripheral maker, so it's not the best. But at the same time, you don't need to have the because they're expensive. The guitars and the everything is expensive. So I understand. I don't understand though why you wouldn't just have them be mail order and you just send them out when you wanted.
Well, I
Um,
imagine if
and-
you're going to set up a whole, where not warehouse, but like a whole, system of making that stuff, you have to make a certain amount in order for it to make
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But at the same time, I also feel like they're kind of leaving money on the table when it comes to the Rock Band Blitz. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there was a puzzle game called Rock
Hmm.
Band Blitz that came out that was a separate entity of Rock Band. What I feel like is if you buy Rock Band, it should come with a Rock Band Blitz style game built into it because sometimes you just want to play Rock Band, but you don't have a whole bunch of people to play Rock Band with. Also, you don't have any, you might be living in a or some shit like that. I'm sorry, I forgot what country we were,
That's all right. PG
or
13
something
here.
like that. But they or something like that where you don't want to be seen very loudly or anything like that. So you just sit there and play the Rock Band Blitz portion of it. But then also you have the option of pulling out an instrument and playing a long song.
Yeah.
So I feel like that there needs to be options as far as that's concerned because I love these games and Rock Band 4 is still getting DLC, so it's not like it's a dead game. It's just very hard to find the instruments because no one's making them now.
Yeah. I mean, who would?
So
I mean,
yeah,
if I
they're
was a peripheral maker and they're like, can you make some rock band guitars? Like, hell no.
no. Why
Are
would I
you
do this?
crazy?
But and that's really what I feel is there's a whole cottage industry right now of people who are refurbishing instruments.
Yeah.
So because nobody can find them.
Well,
And they are expensive
if
now.
they were going to do another rock band, then they need to make those instruments universal for whatever console that people want to play them on. Like if they were to do
Mhm.
it in the future, it needs to be some sort of Bluetooth that works with either Xbox or PlayStation or Switch or wherever you want to play it.
Bad thing with that is that there's literally not a way to do that.
I know, and
There's
that's the problem.
there's not. It's not their fault. It's Sony's.
Yeah.
It is
I
literally
know.
Sony's fault
A
why
lot of
this
problems
is a
are
problem.
Sony's fault.
Yeah. Uh, they could do it the way SteelSeries runs their headphones, which is there's a dongle that you plug into the console, and then you could just unplug it and plug it into another console and
Mhm.
flip a switch on the back of it.
Yeah,
So there is a way to do it. So
but
I
that's
feel
still
like that they could.
it's too convoluted for the general public. The general public
I
wants
don't know
plug
about
and
that.
play. That's all. That's what people want. I mean, people aren't 99% of people aren't like us who are going to fiddle with stuff. They just want to plug it in and have it work.
Oh, and that's what it is. You just plug it in, and there might be a toggle switch between PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah.
If you own an Xbox and a PlayStation, then chances are you're going to flip a switch and plug it in to one or the other.
True.
If you own just a Switch, you're never going to touch that button.
Yeah.
You are good to go.
Yeah. Well, before we get to my list, I do want to go ahead and read Derek's list. He wrote his list in here before he left, and
Ah,
he is in Denver right now, and he sent us some pictures earlier today from the Overlook Hotel from
right.
The Shining, and that was pretty awesome. Which he's
He
having a
said he
good
needed
time.
saved, but
Let's see. At number 5, Derek says he would bring back Conquer, which honestly I think Conquer's
oh,
due for a comeback.
I would
Um,
love a Conquer game.
yeah,
Would you want
especially
it to
with all
be
the.
a modern platformer, or would you want it to be a
Um,
2D retro type style?
I think you could move into a more modern era. I mean, keep that cartoony vibe, but kind of have it open world, maybe a little bit with all the pop culture references. I think it could work. Uh,
My only issue is that the player character's head might be in the way.
probably. uh,
Otherwise, yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Number 4, Mother, which is the Japanese game that became Earthbound in America. Which that's not a bad idea. There's a lot of Nintendo properties that need to be resurrected these days.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. See, I almost put this on my list, but I thought
There's
they were
one
coming
coming
out.
out.
Yeah, there's one coming out soon. I don't know when, but it's coming.
Yeah, I want to say November. I know somebody who's working on it,
Ooh.
so I think it's November.
Is it somebody we can get on the show?
I I can add. Well, no, because he won't be able to tell you anything.
Mm. Ah, well.
It's John Drake. He used to work at Harmonix. That's how I know the
Ah,
guy.
okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
he works for Disney Interactive, which is also Star Wars.
oh, yeah. At number 2, Star Fox, which that pops up a few times on the listener
Mm.
lists, which I'll agree with that because we haven't really had a Star Fox game since Adventures, I don't think, for
Oh, barrel
the
roll.
GameCube. Do a barrel roll. And in his number 1 position is of course Banjo Kazooie. and
My
for
tribute ring true.
And for my list, we already did my runners up. At the number 5 spot, I have Legend of the Mystical Ninja, which is one of my
Oh,
favorite
wow.
Super Nintendo games, and I think it could still live on in that same sort of 16-bit era. That that two and you could do like a 2.5D. Keep it in that same vein. What is that perspective that you call that?
Isometric.
Yeah, like isometric perspective, and it doesn't have to be like a modernized type of game. Just keep it in that sort of
There's
semi-open
three
world.
releases.
Yeah, just basically do the same thing and just keep re-releasing games, and I would play them. I would play them. Number 4, of course, Castlevania. Castlevania, Konami, come on now. You got one of the greatest franchises ever made. We're rife. We're ready. We're ready for a new Castlevania game.
Konami is sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah, they are.
You're sitting on a gold mine, Trebek.
Between Castlevania and Contra and everything else that they have, why are they not?
Metal Gear.
Why put the pachinko games down and give us what we want, Konami? Number 3, I know you're going to like this one, Wally. Condemned for the Xbox 360.
I didn't think of this. Oh, that would be so great.
One of the first games I ever played for the 360, and I actually played this game because of you, because you told me how great it was.
I learned it by watching you.
Yeah, I learned it by watching you. You told me about this game, and I didn't even rent it. I just went straight out and bought it because you made it sound so good. One of the only games.
It's short, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, it gave me a jump scare so bad that I actually threw my controller at the TV and turned all the lights in the house on.
The one where you open up the locker. Yeah.
And the old lady jumps out at me. I literally screamed, threw my controller at the TV, turned off the Xbox, turned all the lights in the house on, and was mad for the next 3 to 4 hours.
This is Wally's fault. Didn't talk to me for 2 years.
So if you've never played Condemned and you have an Xbox 360, I would say go find a copy of it right now and play it. It is so good.
There's a lot of stuff that I would love to talk about, but if you haven't played it, I would rather you find out on your own.
Yeah. At number 2, F-Zero. F-Zero needs to make a comeback. What are you doing, Nintendo? You've got all these cool characters. You've got hovercrafts. You've got. You could do so much customization. You could make your own. You could do your own character, make your own vehicle, put weapons in the game, but not like not like Mario Kart style weapons. But you could come up with different weapons that you could use in the game. It's just there's such cool lore behind it. I just don't know what Nintendo's doing. I mean, I understand they don't want to do it because they have Mario Kart and that's what they're concentrating on, but there is an entire fan base for F-Zero that would jump on that game if they did a new one.
The closest we have is Wipeout at this time.
Yep.
And even then, Wipeout hasn't had a new game in a while.
I know. And at my number 1 position, and I think you could probably get just take a stab at it. What do you think it is?
It's Star Tropic.
Yes. Ding 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 ding. Actually, where's my? Oh, I don't have a. Wait, I'm just giving.
Monkey.
There you go. You get a monkey. But yes, Star Tropics for the NES. Why they have not brought Mike back into the fold is beyond me, because you could do a Star Tropics style game and almost like Breath of the Wild, where you could be searching for your uncle. There's this whole alien story behind it. You're traveling from island to island, meeting people, talking to people, getting pieces of the mystery, upgrading your weapons. I mean, there's a whole RPG aspect to that game that they're just languishing in the past, and I don't understand what Nintendo's
really
doing.
Cool. I think as part of the Universal Studios partnership with Nintendo, they should have a Star Tropics escape room.
Oh, dude. Where's our money, Nintendo? Like, why are we not in the video game industry? We have so many good ideas.
Because they have escape rooms at Universal. They have a Back to the Future one and I can't think of what the other one is, but there's another one there. And I think if they pulled one of those out, not the Back to the Future, put in Star Tropics, I'd pay the extra $40 to go see that.
Man, yeah. I love Star Tropics so much, and I know there's a ton of people out there that love Star Tropics, and I don't know why Nintendo just continues to just let it rot. I mean, I just don't understand. I'll never understand.
I feel like I should be playing the violin.
I should have captured a violin sound for every time Nintendo does something that makes us sad. I'll just play the
Sad
sad
Hulk music.
part.
I just have a piano over here.
But before we go into our our listeners' lists, before I read our listeners' lists, I'm going to do some Patreon shout outs because you know what? Joining our Patreon is awesome because not only do you get ad-free shows over there with your own Patreon feed that you can put into any podcatcher. Those are ad-free shows, but you get early access to the commentary tracks that me, Mr. Derek Diamond, and Mr. Wally Phelps do once a month. And coming up this month, we've got Ninja Turtles, the original series we're going to do. And so you'll get early access to that. And it's only as little as $1 a month to go join our Patreon at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And occasionally when there's big news that drops, me and Wally will do a news dump episode. But I think we'll probably have to kick those back up soon because there hasn't really been a whole lot of big news the last couple of months, but we're probably going to start
There's
getting
a couple of things that I have off the top of my head right now that I think the news dump would be interesting
well,
enough.
we can do one this week.
Okay.
All right. Thumbs up. But here's our Patreon. And we want to thank all of our patrons for being Patreon supporters of this show. You keep the lights on for us, and we thank you, and we love you so much. Coming up, we have Miss Danny House. We have Justin Nispel, John West, Daniel Salmon, Mike Evelyn, Mr. B-Res Coffee himself, Tyler Watson, Axeblade07, Armez Jackson, Carlos Longoria, a.k.a. I Am the Rampage, Staff Sergeant Sketch, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, Joey Image, and Mama Diamond herself. Donna Diamond is our patrons for the month, and we thank you all so much. And if you're a new patron, send us your social media info if you're on Twitter or Facebook. That way we can give you a proper shout out on the social medias. And so coming up for the very first here, this was an email from Mr. Axeblade07 at his number 5, and I agree with this 100%. We just mentioned it a minute ago.
Oh,
Contra, a proper 2D Contra.
yeah, absolutely. It's funny how Konami is synonymous with video games, and they aren't doing anything with
They aren't making any. I don't get it.
It's like, it's like finding out that Bally used to make pinball machines.
Yeah.
But they don't do that no more either.
Number 4, I haven't heard this name in a long time, but Gauntlet. Why is Gauntlet not a thing now? Like, that is basically what
needs food.
Yeah, that's basically what Diablo is based off of. Is Gauntlet. I mean, you have your 4, you got your ranged character, your barbarian, you got your tank, you got your ranged attacks. I mean, you got your healers. Why is it not a thing? I don't understand. I don't know. Number 3.
I couldn't imagine.
At number 3, Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer!
Oh my, as soon as I saw that immediately popped in my head.
It's like a core memory.
Yeah, it is. It's like it brings instant happiness. I don't know what it is.
It's really funny. Like, whenever I see Ridge Racer, the thing that... Because, like, the original Ridge Racer had one track. And that one track had this little... At one point in the track that made me just deliriously happy. I don't know what it was, but it was like...
At number 2, Space Harrier. There's a name I have not heard in a long time. Joey Image joining us in the chat room. Hope you're feeling better, my friend. I know you're probably sore as hell right now. But thank you for joining us in the chat room. And at Axeblades number 1, he agrees with you, Wally. Twisted Metal.
I would love I would love to see what the new characters would be because they were always so outrageous. What fresh hell do they have for us now? that's
And
that's a great name for it. Twisted Metal, fresh
yeah,
hell.
yeah, it is. Where's our money? Where's our gaming money? Um,
Sony.
and our community manager over on Discord, Bethany Fox, gave us one list that said at number 5, Furry Beach, 4, Rack 2, 3, Amorous, 2, Trials of Tainted Space, and 1, Corruption of Champions. And he says, here are my submissions for top 5 games that give erections. Wait, that's not what the list is. It's top 5 games that deserve a resurrection. Oops, well, too late now. I guess I'll just do a new list. And he said, I don't know what classifies a game for resurrection, but here we go. At number 5, he says Star Fox Adventures. Number 4, Crazy
That's
Taxi.
interesting.
Crazy Taxi on the list.
There's been some crazy money.
Number 3, Tyrion 2000. Number 2, F-Zero, 100% agree. And 1, Burnout.
Burnout.
Yes.
Look at this. Man after my own heart.
Yes. And we have up next we have my my co-host over on Open Micers, Jacob. Jacob as aka Jaco Malfoy. Number 5, he says Jack and Daxter. Number 4, Def Jam Fight for New York.
You know what? That would be spectacular.
That would be awesome.
Completely. You know what? It would be even better if it was a crossover, Def Jam versus Wu Tang.
Yeah. Number 3, Fight Night. Dude, Fight Night was actually a really good game for the original Xbox.
Oh my god, I hadn't thought about that game in forever.
I know. Me and our mutual friend Joe used to play that all the time on the original Xbox.
We used to think it's one of those things where you look at the graphics like it can never get any better than this.
It's ugly as hell now, but I think they could.
But look at this man; he's sweating. He's glistening.
He's glistening. Number 2, GoldenEye. I mean, they just did a remaster, so I don't know what he's talking about there.
Look, I don't know because this it's not really a remaster, is it? I mean, it might look a little smoother.
I mean, yeah, they could do GoldenEye again. I would love to see GoldenEye if it was like completely redone, like from top to bottom, with just new, updated to modern day. I think it could do really well. And at number 1, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, the Xbox version was fine.
Yeah, I know it was. I never got to play it, but I know it is. It's got to be better than the Switch version. And at number 1, Telltale Loose Ends, as in Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, etc.
Didn't they finish The Walking Dead?
I thought they did.
I'm pretty sure I owned the final chapter of The Walking Dead.
I'm pretty sure they did. I know they didn't finish The Wolf Among Us. And
yeah, that one didn't.
Not sure about Game of Thrones. I never played that one.
Yeah, I know Game of Thrones got abandoned. Let me see. Must have uninstalled it. But I'm 90% sure.
I played the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, and those games were great. They were really good. And from our Discord, we have Raven Ghostpaw at number 5, Comic Zone. And yes, I agree. I agree with that because that game is great, and it sucks playing the old version of it because you only get 1 life for the whole game. That's it. No continues. Nothing. 1 life.
Outrage.
That's it. It's outrageous. Number 4, Gauntlet. Gauntlet popping up again. 3, Shining Force. 2, Legend of the Dragoon. And 1, Legend of Legaia. I don't know what that is. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I believe it is a RPG. Here's the thing about the Legend of Dragoon, though. Every time I see it, even from the moment that it came out, always say the Legend of Rangoons. and it just feels right.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves Rangoons. I want Rangoons right now. Damn it.
I'm so sorry.
No,
She'll be a
next.
dynasty by the end of the day.
Yeah, no kidding. Donner, Party of Five, his list at number five, Fable. Good man.
Uh-huh.
Good man. Number four, Turok. Number
That would be great.
And here is one that I 100% agree with. Number three, Bully. Why do we not have a new Bully game with Bully all grown up? And it's pretty much just Grand Theft Auto, but with the guy from Bully.
No, that'd be great if that is the next Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, why not? It's already in
Now the
that
principal.
universe. It's in that universe.
Yeah.
Number two, Star Fox. And he says that is number one. Everyone's number one should be Star Wars KOTOR. I agree, but there's one coming. It'll be here eventually, at some point.
What she said. What's really interesting to me is that there was a lot of discourse over the D&D OGL, which is the open gaming license, meaning that anybody could use certain aspects of Dungeons and Dragons in their products. KOTOR is one of those products because the whole system that it's built off of is the D20 system. And the reason why that's important is because they were talking about making it to where people had to pay to use that system. So I wondered how any potential remake of KOTOR would have fared if they went ahead with that. So that's an interesting what if to me.
Yeah.
No one else but me.
Also from our Discord, we have Bugs, who is a new member of the Discord.
You have bugs in your Discord?
Yeah. We have Bugs in the Discord. At number five,
what's up, Jack?
We have Wing Commander series, which that's a good pull. The Wing Commander.
That
series.
is a very good pull. Yeah.
Number four, Privateer 2. Number three,
interesting.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
No idea where she is.
No idea. Number two, California
That is
Games.
why it's on this list. We don't know.
Yeah. Number two, California Games. And number
that would
one,
be rad.
Yeah, I mean, the California Games would be really fun with a new game engine, like current game engine.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is that, it's one of those iconic Nintendo games. You think the NES, you think California Games.
Yeah.
Or at least I do. I don't know about everybody else. I don't know why they haven't done that. So
well, I mean, it was literally on everything. It was in the arcades. It was on the Commodore 64. It was on the Amiga. It was on the Atari 2600. It was on NES. I mean, it was everywhere back in the 80s.
Right. It's just synonymous with games in general, yeah. You never buy it. You always rent it.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's probably why they don't make them. Everybody rented it because you could play it and beat it in like an hour.
You're right.
Number one, Street Rod 2. I've never played Street Rod 2.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Up next, we have Carlos Longoria, a.k.a. I Am the Rampage. If I can say that.
An accent somewhere. I don't know.
I think I had a stroke there for a second.
I am the Rampage.
I am the
Rampage. You were from New Zealand for 2 seconds.
At number five, Earthworm Jim 4. There was supposed to be a new one after the Intellivision Amico, but it seems it got canceled. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff with that because I don't think that the Tommy Tallarico and them at Intellivision, the Amico, I don't think they ever had the rights to Earthworm Jim, and they were just using it as a fundraising thing. And they thought if they made enough money, they could then get the rights. So that's why I think it's dead in the water, because it was never a game in the first place. It was simply being used to raise money.
I was unaware that Tommy Tallarico was the one involved. He is not to be trusted.
No, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits over that Amico thing because he
allegedly
basically, well, yeah, allegedly. Well, everything I'm saying is allegedly, but he owes a lot of people a lot of money.
Well, what's really interesting to me is that he has been riding on the coattail. Like, one of the things that he tells all the kids in the audience, so to speak, I was the guy who created the ooth from Roblox.
Yeah,
But then he sued them to get them to remove it.
I don't know what his problem is.
So yeah, allegedly.
Yeah. At number four, allegedly. At number four, Final Fight. The last one was Streetwise in 2006 and didn't do very well. I would play a new Final Fight.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I would definitely play it at the final fight.
I love
That
Final
sounds like
Fight.
something Limited Run would do, to be honest.
I think
With a nice special edition.
we should have the Final Fight characters be able to show up in the Resident Evil game remakes and just
Mm-hmm.
go through the game as Hagger and just, pile drive zombies into the ground. That would just be great.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. It's kind of like how the Tofu character,
Yeah.
have Hager be
Oh,
a unlockable at
how
the end of
awesome
the
would
game.
that be?
That would be the game plus difficulty.
Yeah. Let's see. Number three, Castlevania. Yes, there's a new mobile game, but that's only mobile. And yes, there's the Bloodstained series from the original designers, but I want one officially from Konami. 100% agree.
Konami, what are you doing?
Pachinko sucks. Making some games. Number two, Mega Man X. The last one was in 2008. And at
That's
his,
not almost 20 years.
yeah, well, what, 13? 15? No,
I know.
15 years. Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's a long time for no Mega Man. Let's see. Number one, Double Dragon. Yes, specifically a sequel to Double Dragon Neon. Way Forward did such a great job and needs to continue the story. I still need to play Neon, but I know it's great because I've watched Rampage play it on stream, and it looks great, plays great. I need to jump into that because I do love Double
Ace is
Dragon.
great.
I love Double Dragon. And for the last one here, and certainly last but not least, we have Mr. Tyler Watson. And I saved his for last because he's always got the details.
Very well thoughtful, yeah.
Yes.
Well thought out.
Here we go. At his number 5, he says F-Zero, good man. The last game in this series was a GBA game that was based on the F-Zero anime. Yes, there was an F-Zero anime. It was called F-Zero GP Legend. And yes, Captain Falcon does do a Falcon Punch at the end of the series. Coincidentally,
Oh, yeah.
this is also the only game in the series, as far as U.S. releases, that I'm missing in my collection. I've never been good at these games, but I love playing them. And at his number 4, Castlevania. The success of the Bloodstained series of games proves that another 2D Castlevania game would sell and sell well, especially in the Metroidvania style. 100% agreed. I know Koji Igarashi has left Konami to open up his own studio. Well, he did the Bloodstained games, but just throw a bunch of money at him and let him make another game in the series. Come on, Konami. I want to play the War of 1999. That's also referred to in lore as the Sealing War, where Julius Belmont seals Dracula's castle inside a solar eclipse. It's what event predates the GBA game Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. Why am I not playing that right now? Come on, Konami.
That sounds awfully convoluted.
That sounds wonderful. I would be playing that right now. Number 3, I loved this game at the time, and I completely forgot about it. Brutal Legend. Oh, man.
Oh.
I know this will never happen because Tim Schafer very rarely makes sequels, and because some of the cast has either passed away or are close to it. It's an 80s metal-inspired action game that switches into RTS tower defense for epic battles with the army you build up. You travel the world in a hot rod called the Deuce, and you blast metal from the radio. And the cast, you have Jack Black as your main character, Eddie Riggs. And in supporting roles, you have Ozzy Osbourne, Lita Ford, Rob Halford in 2 roles, Lemmy Kilmeister, rest in peace, and Tim Curry. The music alone makes this game worth a play. If you've never played Brutal Legend and you have an Xbox 360 laying around, hell, it might be on Game Pass. I don't know. Go play it. It's so good. Go check it out, Wally, and see if it's on Game Pass.
That's what I'm doing.
Joey says it's free on PlayStation.
What?
So go
How is
play
it free on PlayStation?
Let's see. Or maybe because he has Platinum. Maybe. Yeah, I think he's got the Platinum PS Plus subscription, but if apparently it's on PS Plus, so go play it there. Play it everywhere. It's a great game. Number 2,
Brutal.
Lunar. The Lunar series of RPGs on the Sega CD PS1 are not the greatest RPGs made, but the second one is probably my favorite RPG of all time. It started as Silver Star Story and its sequel, Eternal Blue, on the Sega CD, followed by a Japan-only prequel on the Game Gear. The two originals got upgraded remakes for the PS1, and these are the versions I recommend playing. It's standard RPG fare, a goddess, an evil lord, a party of heroes destined to stop said evil lord, dragons who lend the heroes their power, etc., but it's all so good. First game got another remake on the GBA of all things, and it's not half bad. The final game was Lunar Dragon Song on the DS. While he hasn't played it, he says he heard it wasn't as good in this series and needs a much better send-off than that. I have never heard of the Lunar game series. So did you find
Never
Brutal
heard
Legend
of
yet?
Lunar?
Mm-mm.
Yes, and I'm playing it right now.
Oh, okay. It's on Game Pass then. Go play it.
But no, I was actually installing it to
Oh.
my phone. Yes, it is on Game Pass.
And to close us out at Mr. Tyler Watson's The Fact Checker to the Fact Checkers top 5 list, we have Golden Sun. With 2 fantastic GBA games and 1 OK DS game, this series of RPGs absolutely deserve more love. You play as a group of young people tasked by a god. If someone asks you if you're a god, you say, yes! To stop the revival of the power of alchemy, aka magic, back to the world. Long ago, the unrestrained power of alchemy nearly destroyed the planet, so it was sealed away. Now a group of people are trying to restore it. I won't spoil the story from there. Along the way, you meet tiny creatures that join you and enhance your own alchemy abilities, as well as determine your class and abilities. I can't state enough good things about this series. You should play the first one since once it comes to Switch Online. So apparently, it's coming to the Switch.
So, I don't have anything to add to this.
So that's our list for this month. And thank you to everybody that contributed. And if you have any lists that you would like us to do, please join the Discord. We have a top 5 lists thread in there. You can jump in at any time and let us know what kind of top 5 list you would like to talk about. And you can just jump right in there. If you haven't joined our Discord, we've got a lot of new Discord people lately. And thank you to all you that have joined the Discord. And if you haven't, go to nerdcaveretro.com and there's a link right there. You can just hit that little button and it takes you right to the Discord and you just join up right there. And you can be friends with everybody that's in there. And we're all friends here. We're all friends. It's lovely in there. Come join us.
I borrow some money, friends.
Oh, and before we go tonight, Derek left me a little note here. He said, note, Derek will be doing top 5 TV series finales for next week's Derek Diamond Experience. So send your list. If you're in the top 5 mindset right now because of this show tonight, send your top 5 TV series finales to ddiamondpodcast@gmail.com or go to facebook.com/ddiamondpodcast. And this is going to be a hard list for me to do.
Oh man, I don't know, because on one hand I really want to do I would put Breaking Bad on a list like that, but then again you can't get away from the shock of the murder suicide at the end of Blue's Clues. So I am
maybe we should do he should do another one too. Not only top 5 TV series finales, but top 5 worst TV series finales. Ooh.
I haven't watched too many series finales to me now that I think about it. So I don't know what I would even use.
I don't know. I could think of a few that were pretty bad. But
well, I can, if I heard it had a bad ending, I just didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Like I'm still sitting here waiting for somebody to tell me that the ending of How I Met Your Mother was good so I can finish it.
I won't.
No one has told me that.
No, I won't tell you that.
So I have 2 episodes left and I'll never watch them.
Does Serenity count as a season finale or a series finale?
But you know what? Yes, I will say yes. I
I
don't know
will.
if Derek will.
I'm gonna submit it because I'm gonna count that as a series finale.
Yes.
Yes, but
You know, I read somewhere that the series finale of the Mandalorian is going to be a movie,
oh, I guarantee that they're gonna put that in the theaters.
and I will be there.
I will be there too.
This is the way.
This is the
I have
way.
spoken.
Yes. Hold. Oh, I got it. Hold on. I got it here.
I have spoken.
There you go. I have spoken. Before we go tonight, thank you for hanging out with me, Wally. Thank you for filling in for Derek tonight. And
It's been a pleasure.
tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs. Tell them everything you do because you do so much stuff over there at the Real Big Wall.
And I'm exhausted. I record a Dead Game Pod with I am the Rampage, Carlos Longoria. We already explained the premise to this, but you can find us anywhere online on the I think it's deadgamepod.com. That
Let me
sounds
make
right.
sure.
If
Nope.
not, but you can find a link to all of our stuff there. I personally am at the Real Big Wall everywhere, even on YouTube. Um, yeah, I
And
think that's everything. Oh, Patreon at the Real Big Wall as well. What the Patreon is, if you subscribe, you get to read stuff that that I have written over the years. You have access to a podcast version of our D&D game, which is called Legend of the Dumpster Fire, and you have a yeah, they named it themselves. I'm like, there's no dumpsters in this time frame. It's like, well, we've invented them. Okay, whatever. But but you also have access to help us in the Dead Game Pod. That's where all the money is going to Dead Game Pod. There's all $8 that I have sitting there.
and yes, deadgamepod.com does go to your link tree. So you got
Beautiful, beautiful.
everything
Thank
right
you,
there.
Carlos, for that.
And there's a lot of links in here. So if you're looking
Yeah.
for everything Wally and Carlos have ever done, all the way back to like 5 years old, it's here on their link tree at deadgamepod.com.
He skipped over Monsters Anonymous.
But as far as my stuff goes, go check us out at Open Micers on Twitter and Instagram. This week we have a guest, and his name is Wally Phelps. Because
What a hack.
we had another guest, but they dropped out, and we were like, you know what? Instead of doing just another plain old Hostful Goodness episode, let's have the Wally back on so we can talk about all kind of weird stuff that's been happening in our lives. So go follow us over there at Open Micers on Twitter and Instagram, and go follow me at JFunktastic pretty much everywhere. There's a social media. I'm pretty much there. And I think that's going to do it for this week. So Wally, almost said Derek. So Wally, anything else before we leave this evening?
Not that I can think of.
All right, well, let me play our music as we walk out the door. And you can email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. Nerdcaveretro.com is, of course, our link tree that includes our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our Patreon, and, of course, the merch shop, where you can go get a Live Long and Smoke Meat shirt with Wally's face on it over there at ncrmerch.com. Well, we have magnets, bags, mugs, hats, shirts, whatever your nerdy little heart desires. Follow us on social media at Nerd Cave Retro, at JFunktastic, at Derek_Diamond, and at The Real Big Wall. And of course, leave us a review and or a 5-star rating on all podcasting platforms. So, Wally, please tell them what it's all about.
I've spoken.
Live long and smoke meats. This is the way.
I have spoken.
And that is an episode.
Yay.
Hey, I'm going to stop the recording now. Still streaming, though. I'm going to stop the recording.